Hey everyone, Pat Mitchell here, and in this free video lesson from TrickTrades, I'm going to tell you a few simple rules to make money day trading. So let's get into it. Make sure to stay tuned to the end of the video lesson so I can show you one of my most profitable setups. Okay guys, so as a trader, either a swing trader, day trader, investor even, it doesn't matter. No matter what type of trading you do in the stock market, you need to have at least a few rules that are going to protect you. Literally, the only thing that we can control as traders is our risk. That Say that to yourself 10 times out loud. Like that's really the only thing that we can control. We don't know what these stocks are going to do whatsoever. I mean, we use technical analysis. Most of us use technical and fundamental analysis to, kind of gauge whether these stocks will go up or go down, trying to pick the direction, right? But it's not just about picking direction. It's also about being able to capitalize because a lot of people can pick stocks saying, okay, well, XYZ is going to go up or XYZ is going to go down. It's pretty easy to do. So I want to tell you, like I said, just a few simple rules to protect yourself. So, number one, and these aren't necessarily in any order. They're just kind of a general guideline. Number one, know your risk. Know what you're risking, how much you're risking. And I'm gonna show something to you, and when I do, maybe pause the video and screenshot it, and then print it out and have it on a little picture frame right on your desk. Okay, and that way uh, you can refer to it even right before you place a trade. You'll know exactly what and how much you need to risk. Okay, so I'll pull this in here. So this is a little chart telling you what your stop is, and then how much money you're willing to risk, and then it's almost like a position size calculator, right? So we'll go over a couple just for reference. So if your stop, okay, you're going to have a 10-cent stop. Now remember, folks, when you set stops, they're not just arbitrary stops. You need to have a technical stop, meaning the stock is going to either come up into resistance or come down to support. And if it breaks that, that would be your stop. And depending on your entry, that's going to determine what your stop is. It's not just some I'm predetermined arbitrary stop, like I'm only going to risk 10 cents on this trade. Guys, it doesn't work. You can't do that. You'll notice time and time again that you're going to you're just gonna you're gonna stop yourself out, and then the stock's gonna rip or dip depending on the position you're taking, the side of you're taking, right? Um, so 10 cents, if you're risking 10 cents, your stop is 10 cents, and you want to risk $50. That's what you're comfortable with risking. You can take 500 shares, okay? So if you want to risk 100, you can take 1,000 shares. 200, 2,000 shares. So let's go to some of the wider stops because some of us will be playing higher price stocks, so they're going to move that little bit more. Like 10 cents to $100 stock is nothing, right? Depending on the stock, of course. So let's say a 40-cent stop, 30 to 40-cent stop. That's what I usually like to use. And uh, Also, it's about managing your account, right? Like some people are working, well, probably most of you that are listening to this have relatively small accounts. So you're not going to be able to withstand a hit. That's why it's so important that you wait for the A quality setups. And I'm going to show you an A quality setup at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned. So a 40-cent stop, you want to risk 50 bucks on the trade. You can still take 125 shares. Now, 125 shares on, let's say, a $50 or $60 stock can still make you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars because of the range. So don't let the small position size scare you guys. This can still make you a lot of money day trading. So if you wanted to risk $100, it would be 250 shares. $200, 400 shares. So make sure to print this out and have it up on your desk so you can refer to it during the day. So, like I said, that's really important stuff. Number two, you got to have a plan before you enter a trade. I mean, you need to have a plan. If you don't have a trade plan, you don't have a trade, period. You can't just randomly enter a stock and kind of hope it goes in your direction, right? And you don't know what to do. Like if it just starts dumping on you and you're long, you're going to get all freaked out and you won't know what to do because you don't have a plan in place, right? So you need to have some sort of a plan. Always, 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 always need to. That's a golden rule, okay? Which kind of brings me to my next know your stop. Even before you enter a trade, long or short, even before you hit buy or short, you need to know where your stop is going to be because you should have already worked this out. What's your stop? How much are you risking? As per your trade plan, where is my stop? Okay, so even before you hit buy or short, you need to know where your stop is. Where is your price? If that stock hits, you are out. Okay, so which leads me to my next. Respect your stops. One of the main telltale signs of a trader that's losing is someone that always will move down their stop or up their stop, depending whether they're long or short. They'll go, I'll give it a little bit more. I'll give it a little bit more. I'll give it a little bit more. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. You're going to lose. You had your trade plan. Work your trade plan. Okay? Stick to your trade plan come hell or high water. That will give you patience. It will give you patience in the trade. It'll take a lot of the stress off because as soon as you place that position into the market, it's whatever it's going to do, it's going to do. So it'll take some of the stress away. Okay? Now, when you go to buy or short a stock, whether you're going long or short, it doesn't matter. You always want to wait for some sort of a retest, an indication, okay? So this VRX is a really good example of this, and I like to use this as an example just because it always pops in my head. There is a fellow that I talked to with on Twitter, and he was actually short this day on VRX, and it was a very clear long. Now, sometimes, granted, no matter how long you've been doing this for, and he's not a newbie, but no matter how long you've been doing this for, you might have a brain fart from time to time, guys. It's gonna happen. We get caught up emotionally in the heat of the battle, and we develop biases. And if we refer to some of my last video lessons that I have on YouTube from TrickTrades, you'll see what you can do about that. I mean, it'll definitely help. So refer back to some of my previous video lessons. So on VRX, I'll draw this out. I hate when it doesn't snap right to it. Okay. So you get zoomed in, and this was up. This was earnings. This was an earnings gap. Okay. So remember, folks, refer back to some of my older lessons to find out how to properly plot trend lines, and this will show you how to get in on some of these. So VRX gapped up that day on earnings, and it started selling off, as most gaps will do. These sell off due to profit taking. Okay, I call it the profit taking wash, and it's a setup that I'll take for a very quick short in the morning, and then I'll flip long once it tests out support, and reclaim. So you can see how this tap, now I want to zoom right in, just so then you guys can really see like how dead nuts bang on this was. You see how close that is, right? Now, one can also say it also did test this. So also, one of the rules that you can have is don't just have one indicator that tells you to go long or short. Okay? The more you have, the more pieces of the puzzle that you kind of put together, the more ingredients in the mixing bowl that is trading, or a trade, I guess, so to speak, to use a really lame analogy, is to make sure that you have more than one. Okay, so we have a couple pieces of this puzzle or ingredients in the mixing bowl, right? So we have a trend line pullback, and we also have a recent support test, and it bounced. You could have literally bottom ticked this. And yet another piece of the puzzle is a moving average test. So I'll get rid of these trend lines so that you can see that. Do you see how it tested out the 50 SMA, which is very, very, very important on the daily chart, as well as the 5 EMA, but more so the 50. The 5 EMA I use for short-term swing trading. It just lets you know that that very short-term trend is intact. So you can see how it tapped it perfectly. To the penny, guys. To the penny, right? So like I said, we have the number one piece of the puzzle. We got a support test, and I should change this to green just because I am trying to show you guys, right? And then we have sorry guys, I'm kind of a little slow this morning, not feeling very well here this morning. So there's the trend line, and then we have the moving average. So there's three pieces of the puzzle, right? Perfect. That's exactly what you want. So another thing is, another rule that I like to live by is go your own way. Don't rely on other people's picks or other people's trade ideas, okay? You need to be self-sufficient. And that's exactly what I teach at TrickTrades.com. And my members that have been with me from the beginning, the majority of them now are very self-sufficient. They pick their own plays. Sometimes they call out trades in the chat room that I take because I see exactly what they're seeing, and they're beautiful, beautiful setups. They're A-quality setups, and that's the type of stuff that I want to teach you guys, right? So, you know, definitely come give us a shot at TrickTrades.com. So these were just a few of the rules that I wanted to show you. Now there's definitely a list that I live by, but I'm not going to get into an hour-long video lesson with each and every one of my rules. I'd like to, but so I just wanted to give you a few. So now, before I get into one of my most profitable day trading setups, I want to make sure that you guys head down right here to the bottom of the screen on the right hand side and hit subscribe. Guys, that's important. And also next to that, make sure you hit the like button. I'd really appreciate that. So, okay, now for the setup. This was a call I made right before lunchtime just the other day, and I called it out. And I want to make this really clear. TrickTrades.com, I do not believe in alerts, but I will if I see something that is highly actionable and is an A quality setup that provides a really good risk reward setup. I will call that out all day long. Okay. So usually during the course of the day, besides my watch list and daily plan of attack, I will give at least a few actionable callouts that, I mean, you can ask anyone in the chat room. When I pound the table and call it out and say, guys, this is good, you need to take a look at it. I love this. I'm probably 95% right. I can only think of maybe once or twice that I've been wrong since I started. So when I pound the table, you gotta listen, and that goes for if you follow me on Twitter as well. If I start pounding the table, because I've made some really good calls. There was a PayPal call. I believe I even called this out on Twitter. I could be wrong. I mean, there's a list as long as my arm, right? So what I want to show you on this on this day trading setup is the lower high. You'll hear me refer to that in previous video lessons, okay? Now, it's a very simple way to do it, all right? So I want to point out you could have got faked out right here, though, okay? That's fine, guys. It's fine to get faked out, and it's fine to take a loss. So I want to go over this first. So how you would get in on the lower high is very simple. You need to know your high, your highest point at the peak, okay? So we have it sitting at 68.63, okay? So most stocks, when they run up, they'll sell off, and then they'll bounce back up. Now, if it doesn't not have the strength to break these highs, you need to take the trade. No questions asked, no hesitation. Okay, so we had that high at 68.63, and right in this area, when it starts proving some weakness, we've got a high of 68.45. So you got about 20 cents, about a 20-cent stop on an almost $70 stock. Perfect. That's beautiful. You're risking next to nothing to make, and you're looking to always get it back to at least the 50 EMA and then down to the VWAP. Okay. Now that's your target. Okay, so you're risking 20 cents on this trade to make $1.45 per share. Guys, do the math. That's huge risk reward, and that's better than any win percentage. People with their win percentages, guys, that necessarily isn't that important. It's your risk reward ratio on your setups. That's what's going to keep you in the game. So you would have taken this trade, okay? And as soon as it starts pulling back, guys, it gave you 54 cents, okay? You got to take some sort of profits, man. I mean, if you have 50 cents sitting in your hand, there's no reason to take off a few to at least cover if this breaks high, so your 20-cent risk, right? So you'd want to be about flat on the trade or a little bit profit because you want to make sure to cover commissions. And it doesn't matter how small of a position size you take. You gotta pay yourself. It's about the process, guys. Okay. Don't worry about making money right now. So when it comes up and if it stopped you out, it stopped you out. Okay, that's okay. You could have still easily have been profitable with this. So what do you do next? Don't be gun shy, guys, okay? This still had a little bit of gas left in the tank, okay? That's fine. Stocks will do that. You can be wrong. It's okay to be wrong, guys. I can't say that enough. Don't let one little loss, make you gun shy to miss the A quality setup. This is a beautiful setup, guys, okay? So now this is the trade, and this is the one that I called out. So when a stock runs up, starts getting extended away from the VWAP, it puts in a high. So we've got a high at 71.22. Pulls back, bounces back up, and could not break highs. As I like to say, it didn't have the nuts. It didn't have the jam to even come up and test highs. It's a lower high. That's beautiful. So we got a high of this one at basically 71. So again, you've got 20-cent risk. 20-cent risk. Okay, so I called it out right here. That's right where I called this. Okay, now pulls back just to the VWAP. Okay, you're looking at $2.35 per share, risking 20 cents. Guys, do the math. It's a massive risk-reward ratio right there. Okay, so that's your target is VWAP. Then you hold on to a few to see what it'll do. Okay, and what did it do? So from the entry, down to lows, okay, mind you, just down to lows, $5.17 a share. Massive, massive. Even just 100 shares could have made you over $500. Incredible, incredible. Okay, so your exit is the lower, or sorry, the higher low. This is the lower high. Sometimes I always get all fumbled up. So it's a lower high. This is a higher low, and that's where you would exit, because generally once a stock puts in a higher low, okay, that's a buy signal, right? And that's why it came up. And if a stock ever breaks the 50 EMA on the 1 minute, you should definitely look to get out. That's usually a pretty good exit signal. It's one of my exit signals. So there you have it, folks. There's an A quality setup for you. Make sure to watch for it. The time of day is right between 10:30 and around noon. That's the time of day that this setup will happen. So for those of you that can't trade the market open, this is perfect. It's a highly profitable setup. It's a setup that's made me huge amounts of money since I started day trading. Unbelievable. Go ahead and back test it. You'll see just how profitable this is. And it's roughly an 80% win rate on this. And you can't beat it, guys. And it's very easy to spot. It's very easy to spot. Very profitable. So thanks for listening. And hey, guys, make sure to head right down here to your bottom right-hand corner and hit subscribe. Hit subscribe right now and hit the like button. And make sure to comment too. I want to hear from you guys what type of video lessons you want me to, what kind of video lessons you want me to make, okay? So let me know, guys. I don't mind. You guys have any ideas whatsoever, I'll make a video lesson on it, and hit me up. So make sure to comment below and hit subscribe. Adios, folks.